Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the channel of issues where I talk about them all, because we all have issues and how we deal with our issues is the difference. And unfortunately, Eric Holder had a lot of issues, and the way he dealt with them was just tragic. Okay, Eric Holder had issues with self-hate, jealousy, envy, and possibly depression. Like most of you, my heart is heavy for Nipsey Hussle. You know, we lost him too early, and it's just unfortunate. There's nothing more to say except for it's very unfortunate. But it's very unfortunate that this is happening every single day in our community. The black on black violence is just really out of control. And so, like most of you, we are hoping that the Nipsey Hussle tragedy brings peace, and it brings about this long-term treaty. And I just want to talk about an issue that happens in our community that I feel could be contributing to the Eric Holders of the world, okay? Not just him, but all of these lost souls who are out here killing each other. I want us to think about how some of them have gotten to this point, okay? So I want to shed some light on an issue that I feel may contribute to a lot of the violence that is going on in the street. I want to talk about our throwaways. I call them throwaways because that's what we do too often in our community. And what I'm talking about is that family member that may have a mental issue or a sickness that we tend to just ignore. A lot of times we have these issues in our families and we choose to ignore them, and we don't even tell the loved one that has the issue that they even have an issue. We ignore it, turn a blind eye to it, sweep it underneath the rug, and we leave these loved ones untreated. Because in our community, we feel like getting help, going to the doctor, or having a psychologist or a psychiatrist is, you know, something that we can't do out of embarrassment, out of pride, and out of ignorance. And to be honest, unfortunately, a lot of the parents are self-medicating. They're on drugs, they're on pills, they're alcoholics, and them themselves may be mentally ill and don't even know it, or have, been left untreated, or suffering with some type of clinical depression. And then, yes, we just have some trifling people who are just evil and just choose to use the person with the mental illness for a check. They get disability and SSI, and they just use them for a check. They leave them untreated because they want the check. But what happens is, once the individual gets old enough and the check goes to them, they throw them away. They throw them out to the street to just fend for themselves. And a lot of these people don't even know that they have a mental illness. A lot of these people just think they're getting a check, and they don't even really understand why they're getting a check. So they join gangs, they come out here in this world, and they get used and abused by people who know what they're doing. Unfortunately for women, men take advantage of them and have kids by them, tell them that they love them, and they use them for their check. For men, they might get, pressured into getting into a gang and transfer drugs to and from because they don't know any better. There's so many situations that happen with our throwaways, and I'm not saying that Eric Holder, I'm not giving him any excuse, but I just ask to think, how did he get to a point where he's so self-hate and so much jealousy and so much envy in his heart that he wants to kill like the rest of these kids? Could he possibly have been a throwaway? Maybe he has a mental issue that's been untreated, and he's just been left out in these streets and just raised in these streets. And we know that these streets can be very tough, mean, and evil. So I'm just saying, I want us to take our time to really think about those issues that we choose to ignore. We bring them out into this world. And I feel like there's a lot of these kids that have been thrown away by their parents, and they're out here in this world and they're lost, and all they know is violence, and all they know is negativity. Okay, I also want us to think about when we see these comments. When you get a lot of crazy negative comments, don't be so quick to assume that these people are healthy and that they're right in the mind. A lot of the people that leave these crazy comments are mentally ill, and a lot of them are suffering from depression. And so just don't be triggered so quickly and then jump to defend, and then you get yourself angry, and then of course we get this divide all over again. Try sometimes with the social media, when you see these crazy comments, to ignore them. Right now we're just trying to send positivity to Nipsey Hussle and his family. We're trying to keep the gangs together. We're trying to have this unity. When you see these negative comments, just think about what I'm talking about. Think about that mental ill person that's been thrown away and left to fend for themselves. That's who you could possibly be dealing with. It's somebody who's just not right in the mind. So let's ignore a lot of these comments. Yes, there's ignorant people. Yes, there's evil in the world. But we have to remember there's a lot of mental ill people who are untreated, who are out here in this world. Let's just try to remember that, okay? Again, my heart is heavy. This Nipsey Hussle situation is bigger than all of us. I pray that positive come out of this, and I pray that our young kids who are killing each other every day, I hope they find some peace, and I hope they find some love, and I hope they find some help. That's all I have for right now. It's a lot. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social at Miss Burley to you. And I'll see you next week. Yeah, I'll see you next week.